3,000 Miles is a short 5-minute documentary by filmmaker Shawn Wang, chronicling his year abroad in New York. On the surface, it may appear quite simple to understand what makes this documentary effective. It's a heartfelt piece of filmmaking, dripped in rich themes of separation, longing, and family. Underneath, however, it's much more complex than that. In order to truly understand what makes this documentary tick, we must examine the content, the modes, and the style of the piece, and how they intertwine to create what we see on screen. In the case of 3,000 Miles, the content is simple, the style is personal and effective, and the modes vary between part observational, part participatory, yet very much a poetic documentary. As a filmmaker, Shawn Wang's documentaries tend to lean toward travel, his personal relationships, and the memories he makes. 3,000 Miles is no different. The documentary fits right into Shawn's wheelhouse. In fact, it seems to be the culmination of his experience making travel videos, such as 10 Days in Taiwan, and his more personal videos that reflect his relationships and memories, like 2016 Memory Bank. It takes elements of his previous works, the montages of the cityscapes in Taiwan and the found footage of Memory Bank, and combines them to create his most compelling and emotional work yet. 3,000 Miles is not just a montage of Shawn's trip to New York. It's a profoundly moving story about the bond he shares with his mother, one that could only be achieved through the documentary's particular style and subject matter. Speaking on the subject matter, 3,000 Miles has no distinct narrative, just various shots of the city edited to music and voicemail messages left by Shawn's mother. These voicemails are what tie the documentary together, give it structure, and it's what makes it such a compelling piece of filmmaking. We get this sense of Shawn's mother and what Shawn means to her. It forms the emotional backbone of the film and informs much of what we see on screen. When Shawn's mother talks about the election, we see an American flag and protests. When she talks about the flowers back home, Shawn shows us flowers in New York. The voicemails also inform many of the stylistic choices that Shawn makes. 3,000 Miles begins with slow-motion footage edited to a soft piano track. The result is this beautiful, melancholic mood that embodies the distance and separation between Shawn and his mother. Interestingly, this mood does not carry through the entire film. Instead, the pace of the music picks up, the footage returns to normal speed, and the editing gets faster as the documentary goes on, right up until Shawn returns home. The B-roll footage of the cityscape transforms into found footage, videos of Shawn and his mother, and the documentary takes on another form. 3,000 Miles is complex to analyze in that it contains elements of several types of documentary form or modes. The first identifiable mode is the observational mode. Bill Nichols' book on documentaries explains that a camera simply observing what is in front of them is a key component to observational documentary. We see this with the B-roll footage. The camera maintains a fly-on-the-wall perspective and never interferes with the events on screen. It simply observes them, and in doing so, captures memories, one of the major themes of Shawn's work. As we move towards the end of the documentary, when the B-roll footage ends, we also see hints of the participatory mode. According to Nichols' modes of documentary, the participatory mode involves the filmmaker injecting themselves into the narrative. In the case of 3,000 Miles, Shawn's found footage at the end involves him filming both him and his mother as a point to highlight their reunion and their bond. Despite the use of both these modes, however, 3,000 Miles remains first and foremost a poetic documentary. Looking at Nichols' modes of documentary again, the poetic documentary sacrifices linear storytelling and structure in favor of using images, rhythm, and music to create tone and mood. We see this all in 3,000 Miles, the combination of the B-roll footage that tells no particular story, the soft piano music, the voiceovers. They're all edited together in a way that focuses on creating this melancholic mood that almost represents Shawn's mother's longing for him. And therein lies the beauty of 3,000 Miles. It's a multi-layered, complex travel/memory video that only works because of the way it's put together. The lack of narrative forces Shawn to focus on tone and mood to evoke audience engagement. He even combines different documentary modes to further heighten that connection to him and his mother. The style and the choices he makes all work together to create a heartfelt, moving documentary that highlights the bond between mother and son.